First things first,
Yeah.
Axel, how are you?
I'm great, thank you.
Okay. Before we talk about the music you're making now, I'd like to go back to the beginning quickly.
Yeah.
You grew up, and I'm not going to pronounce this right, but Húsavík?
Yeah.
Húsavík?
Yeah.
What kind of town was it to grow up in?
It's a really small town, and I grew up really like you just kind of always had to find something to do yourself, be independent. So yeah, I like my uncle taught me how to play guitar when I was really young. When I got my first guitar when I was 9. So when I like could do anything on guitar, like something that I thought sounded cool, I just started writing music.
How old were you when your uncle showed you the guitar?
9.
Okay. And was music a big thing growing up? Was it in your house?
Yeah, my mother is always she's more into the radio, so it's not like specific genres or something like that that I grew up listening to, but yeah, my mother listened to the radio, and my father is a guitar collector.
Okay.
So yeah, he has always collected guitars all my life, and he has always been like a big blues fan, and I like grew up listening to like his guitar solos and stuff like that, and like learned a lot of things from him in the beginning.
What is one artist that he showed you that you remember from those times?
He has always been really fond of Pink Floyd, which is not blues, but
sure.
yeah, Pink Floyd is his favorite band, and then like B.B. King and Eric Clapton and Eagles.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you say, well, you were 9, then you start playing the guitar yourself.
Yeah.
What did you try to play? Was it this kind of music? Or?
No, my uncle taught me how to play 2 songs by AC/DC, Back in Black and Highway to Hell.
Okay.
So those 2 songs were the songs I played the most when I was starting like getting the chords correct.
Right.
In some ways, so yeah. So that was like the beginning, and then I like when I was maybe 10, 11, I started like making my own music because I was maybe tired of playing the same songs. No, I kind of started 9 doing something, and it just evolved into something like I started making a theory, like the musical theory of verse, chorus, and then I quickly like started writing songs.
Do you remember the first song you wrote?
I remember the first song I wrote and wrote down at the same time. Yeah, I remember that because
you were very young at that point. So, but you already knew you wanted to create music yourself, not just play something by other people.
Yeah, definitely. It didn't seem as real to me playing like covers.
When you say the first song you wrote, you quickly shut down. So when did the first song come that you were proud of?
I kind of like the first time I had a reason to write song was the first time I decided I was gonna put a band together with my friends. So like when I knew I had my friends who they didn't play instruments, but they kind of had learned a little bit of drums, a little bit of bass in school, and they thought the idea of being a band was cool, but they weren't like as ambitious as I wanted them to be. But they were ambitious enough to like start a band, and we did that. And when we like me and my then best friend put together this band, and then I started like writing songs every weekend, and like having this dream of because I lived in Denmark then, and we had this plan of building this band when I came back to Húsavík. So I lived in Denmark from 10 to 13. So I kind of did this in theory, I kind of did like start writing songs when I was 11, 12. And it was like preparation for the band when I came home when I was 12, 13.
And this type of songs that would come out for that band, is it anything like what you're making now?
No, not at all. It was mostly like distortion on the guitar and like screaming, and my vocal, I don't know how to say it. Just the way I sung in that time was way different, and my mother hated it, and she always just said, "Why don't you like sing with your voice?" Because I was like creating sounds from my voice that didn't make sense, and like it wasn't like a scream. It was more like just like a really, like I was trying to sound rough.
Right.
Yeah.
And when, because these are your early experience in making music, when did you kind of found the path that you are on now?
I kind of did that when I studied the solo thing. Then I like tuned down as much as I like ideally could, because I had my acoustic guitar, and I just after the summer of 14, I bought recording gear, just to record my demos and record something to put online and show people of what I can do alone, because I was always such a control freak in all the bands I was, so nothing was like satisfying for me, because I didn't like, I wasn't like, I couldn't like decide everything. Sure. So I kind of like thought the only way out of being this control freak was to make something that I just like had complete control over myself. So that was the solo project that I was gonna make. And again, I did this preparation thing where I wrote many songs before I bought the recording gear. Because I was so excited of recording and doing, like layering down the vocals and doing this harmonizing things and all the things that I could do with just acoustic guitars and vocals. And that's kind of the beginning of the sound I like make now.
And you mentioned, well, the early vocals you had in the more rock band. Did you know you could sing? Well, let me put it different. Did you know you had a good voice for singing?
I think I kind of just like, I didn't have a good voice in the beginning, but I always thought I had a good voice. So I kind of like practiced enough to have a good voice, I think, like so many people. But I don't know. It's difficult to like think about it in that way, because it evolved so in such long time. You kind of just had a new sound every month, and just the voice kind of just like there's so many things that happen to your voice as well in this time, so it all has impact. And when I started like focusing on the right direction in my voice, and I had vocal, I had like in my school in 9th grade, I had a teacher that I had a little practice, vocal practice in one semester, and that helped me a lot with like thinking about the right ways to use my voice and like where I want to like fixate on I don't know.
Yeah, but did you have a clear image of what the music would sound like, or what you wanted from your songs?
I always had a really clear image, but it wasn't the same as the result was, though. But I was happy about the result as well, because it always was a bit surprising. So I think you always have to have kind of like something clear, and then be open to change it as well. And
then you mentioned the recording equipment that you then bought. Did that help in producing kind of the music that you wanted to have?
It helped me with helped me with evolving my writing skills. I think I'm not a good producer at all, and I would never like release any of my demos today, because it was always just a way for me to like layer down my writings and just like completely produce my songs, but not record them. Sure. As like so. It helped me a lot with being inspired, I think, yeah.
And this inspiration, does it come from anywhere, or do you start with maybe a song lyric, or is it from your own experience?
Yeah, most of my lyrics are from experience, okay. and from like just a lot of feelings directed to like a lot of things, okay. and I always have to have a meaning in my lyrics to let them make sense. I can't when I used to write songs with my band, I could build this fantasy and I could like create a story. But with my solo project, I kind of always have to do something that like feels right to me. So I can be as emotional as I have to be to like I don't know, to let this make sense.
Sure, but at the same time, then being that honest about what happens in your life, is that an easy thing to do for you, or?
Yeah, because no, it's easy to like. I've always been really open about everything with my friends and my family and everything. So I've never been close. It's mostly the hard part. It's mostly like, in what way do I want to like represent those feelings or what I am like, because I don't want to say I am feeling this and this person is doing this to me and this person, I feel this for this person. I don't want to have like a really clear story. Sure. I want to have like a really broad idea of what the story could be, so someone like listens to the song and like maybe connects to the feeling. So I always like kind of try to strip down to the like the clear, like the clear feeling.
The essential part.
Yeah, yeah.